Yo! Video games.
What up, dudes, and welcome back to the YoVideogames podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Andrew.
And once again, thank you to all our generous patrons who kept us going for over 350 episodes.
Yeah, if you're interested in becoming a patron at any level, please check out patreon.com/YoVideogames podcast. Dude of the week is Hockey Kong 64.
Thank you, Hockey Kong.
Also,
I'm always imagining DK on ice.
Well, that's what we need. Is where's Mario Hockey? They need a new Mario.
A good one,
Hockey
yeah, because he's done a lot of things. We've never done hockey.
You know, and DK can be, ultimate goon. Get in there. Who could stand? I guess DK and Bowser would have to be the goalkeepers, right?
It wouldn't have to be.
Well, or they would have to be gooning. They'd have to be the guys.
I mean, I think it'd be fun if you could choose your, positions. You'd have pros and cons for all of them.
That's true. Yeah, but DK would have nothing but pros. He'd be slow as shit, and he could only do power shots. He's just the guy. Like, also, would a gorilla wear the skates on their feet or on their hands? They do a lot of, you know what I mean? Well, what does that look like? Anyway, thank you, Hockey Kong 64. And as always, we have a sponsor to thank. Of course, we're talking about Manscaped. We're both big fans of Manscaped products, and it's new year, new you, new balls. You gotta take care of that topiary, and Manscaped's got all the tools you need to do it. Of course,
right. Don't let the gray beards, hangle and dangle from last year. Make it fresh and new.
And what better way to do it than with the Lawnmower 4.0? Of course, one of our favorite things of it is that it has the taint torch. That's my name.
Patented.
That's my name.
It's not actually called that, but it should be.
Should be called the taint torch. Is all I'm saying.
Make a lot more sense in the UK, where they actually still call flashlight torches.
Yes, and it's cooler. Although, you know what I've been using a lot from them lately is I've been using ye old lip balm. Now, I don't use lip balm religiously, but I've always said that you can tell who the stony-eyed killers are by the suppleness of their lips. And lately, I have some supple-ass lips.
Oh.
That's right. Been taking care of it this weather. Been chapping everything. And, I wear the Boxers 2.0 to keep my balls from getting chapped. I wear the lip balm to keep my lips from getting chapped. And then,
either way, you don't want your sensitive parts getting crusty.
Ending off our
speaking of not getting crusty,
ending off our list of our favorite products from Manscaped is the crop preserver. It's the ball deodorant. It's the cream that you rub between the hands and then get down in there and have some me time with your balls. And it ends with you smelling great and not feeling shamed.
And there's also another one. There's even a spray-on variant. It comes in the performance package.
They do the crop reviver.
And I've actually used that in a pinch a number of times.
In a pinch?
In a pinch.
Just a quick spritz?
Just a quick spritz when you're just kind of like, I need a quick spritz, before I go do something, extraneous. Or
something
after.
Fun?
No, I'm just saying, like, in general, like, you get done after the gym or you're whatever, it's like, hey, if your stuff's been scrunched together and collecting air, stay away for a while.
I have to admit that I used the body spray a lot this Christmas time. Body spray is the same scent as. Well, same scent profile, so not as strong of a scent as the crop preserver, but pretty much all their scents line up so that you can kind of wear all of them and smell the same head to toe. But I was using it, and then my dog, for some reason, really loved the smell of the body spray, and then now I have to give it some time between using the crop preserver on my balls before I go.
I was about to say, is this turning into a peanut butter joke?
It's not a peanut butter joke, but my dog very much can smell it, and so it's it is a stronger scent than the body spray. The body spray is toned down, so I have to be a little bit more. But
deliberate. It's a good eucalyptus-y, woodsy,
good
fresh
woodsy
scent.
smell. But if you're interested in checking out any of these products, please head over to manscaped.com. Use our code YoVG, all caps, for 20% off and free shipping worldwide. That's code YoVG, all caps, at manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping worldwide. Your balls will thank you.
Mm-hmm. So will your dog too, apparently.
Apparently, so will your fucking dog. I don't know. Maybe it's only.
I think he probably just likes the scent, like outdoorsy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like there is like it's like a woodsy. Yeah, there's like I don't know. I fucking love this scent. You know, if you've put too much on, I might smell your balls. I don't know.
I mean, it is great with the little spray. Like sometimes you go to just use the restroom to take a quick. You once your friends like, ah.
That's what I love the crop mop for. Keep one of those in your back pocket on date night.
Oh Jesus.
I don't know. It's a married life secrets, I guess. But we're in the new year. It's 2023. That feels weird. I guess let's hope that it isn't as fucked up as 2022. But the games that are coming out this year are pretty exciting. I feel like last year was real good for games.
I feel last year was a great year for games. And then some people just look at me and well, just because you guys Xenoblade. And I'm like, there's a lot of great games that came out this last year, though. It was a great year for gaming.
Yeah. This year is probably going to be just as good. I mean, you've got RE4 Remake. You've got new Jedi.
Let me show you a list. Let me just read you this list, okay? Here's a 2023 list.
Do it.
Resident Evil 4 Remake, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Street Fighter 6, Final Fantasy 16, Sea of Stars, Spider-Man 2, Armored Core 6, Metroid Prime 4, Diablo 4, Starfield, Forspoken, Pikmin 4, Hades 2, Early Access, Hogwarts Legacy, Octopath Traveler 2, Jedi Survivor, Skull and Bones, remember that? Bayonetta, Cereza and the Lost Demon, Wild Hearts, Exoprimal, Wulong, Fallen Dynasty, Redfall, Frontiers of Pandora, Lies of P, Horizon, Burning Shores, Silksong, Alan Wake, RoboCop, the Dead Space remake, Starship Troopers, Extermination, Suicide Squad Kill Superman, Payday 3, Xenoblade 3 DLC campaign, which will be 25 to 50 hours, Silent Hill 2 remake. And that's not all of them, but that's just some of them.
That's like the big ones that are coming.
And those are announced.
Both Horizon things are for PSVR, right?
Oh no, I didn't. That's Call of the Mountain.
Call of the Mountain is.
I didn't even list that. Oh, I didn't list any of PSVR 2, which is also hitting.
The people who have a PSVR or getting PSVR 2 are finally going to have a reason to have that again.
Yeah, except none of their old games will work.
No, none of the old VR games work on PSVR 2.
It's not backwards compatible.
And
there's the reaction everyone gets, even the people really looking forward to it. And they're like, oh yeah, it's not backwards compatible at all. Whoa.
That's rough, dude. That's how much is PSVR gonna be?
$550 in America.
Oh,
I think it's more expensive elsewhere.
Oh God, that's really upsetting.
So for about $1,200, you can go from having nothing to Horizon VR Call of the Mountain.
That's That's right, because PSVR, you have to have the PS5 already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, there's no way. That's doomed to fail.
That's what a lot of people are starting to say now.
Yeah, like I mean, every other VR has made itself more accessible. PSVR has doubled the inaccessibility of it, like that
because it has a completely different user or control interface. Because now they have those little like handles with the like fucking circles around them. You look like a dweeb, like twisting your orbs. It doesn't use the space ice cream anymore.
Right. Yeah. Look, I'm not going to shit on anybody for looking like a dweeb in VR. I look like a dweeb in VR real bad. Probably more than anyone else because my balance gives out during VR. Like I get that vertigo from VR and motion sickness and stuff. Like I'm ultimate dweeb in VR.
Yeah.
But it's saying something when your controllers go from kind of cute to nerdy as hell looking. So
either way, boy, it is that yes, PSVR 2
exists.
It will not work with PSVR 1.
That is a bummer. That is a real bummer. What do you have any like? I know in the next couple of months we're going to be hell by March we'll have at least 3 of the games we're really looking forward to, right? Isn't it like I guess neither of us are really looking forward to Forspoken, but that comes out sometime in the next 3 months.
we're more curious, kind of. I don't know if I
Yeah.
think it's a $70 game. Really not sure about that yet, but
Well, we'll see. The demo didn't seem to sell a lot of people on it.
like it
but
was good, but it wasn't like mind blowing. I don't know. We'll see.
fair. But you have RE4 remake coming out
In
the
March.
next- yeah, in
As
March.
Capcom said, it's in the final spurt of development. Interesting
This-
word choice.
Hmm.
Spurt.
Spurt. Spurt, squirt, moist. These are all
Yeah.
bad words. These are all words you cannot say. So in January you got the Dead Space remake. which
Yeah,
people
that's
are
I think this month. Yeah, January's Dead Space remake.
Yeah, and people are saying that that's looking pretty clean. I don't know yet
Yeah.
myself. Also, not really related to Dead Space, but sort of related to Dead Space. Apparently, Callisto Protocol has cleaned up a lot of the things everybody was pissed about,
Yeah, there's been like a lot of patching going on that game.
and it's apparently quite a bit better. Like combat is now sort of exciting and cool, I'm told. I have not decided to buy in. I figured I would give it several months and then I would try it. Hopefully fixed. But apparently they've been doing overtime and like the devs have really taken to heart the complaints that they got.
Kind of
So-
feels like something that they probably could have seen coming if it's being fixed this quickly.
It sort of feels like they did see it coming and that's why they're fixing it this quickly. Because they were already working on the fixes.
Yeah, maybe.
But you know, a weird one that I'm not actually sure. Actually, let me see when it comes out because I think it comes out fairly soon. Oh yeah, so it's in February. Did you hear anything about Atomic Heart?
I have heard it.
It's got
I
like
think
big time.
that was on my list. Was it on my list? Wild Hearts is on my list.
Wild Hearts is on your list, but Atomic Heart is like got like a Half-Life 2 vibe to it. You know, like there's been a few things. I think IGN has like some hands-on shit with it, but like it's just this. Think of like Half-Life 2 and BioShock have a baby. Like BioShock happens in like a Soviet era facility, a la Half-Life kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but it hits me in the nostalgia for it. And so I'm sort of excited to see that. It doesn't necessarily, I don't want to like oversell it. It doesn't look like it's doing anything groundbreaking necessarily. It just looks like what it does well, and it'll hit that Half-Life.
It's kind of is all you can sometimes ask for in a game.
Kind of
you
all
know?
I fucking want. I don't need groundbreaking every single time. I just need something good.
Yeah.
You know?
I think for me a lot of times now is I just want it to feel complete.
Right. Yeah.
Not even so
finished.
much does it have this many modes, does it have this much content, I just want it to feel complete.
Well, so many things are released now that are just unfinished.
Yeah.
Um,
So I think for me a big one nowadays is just like I just want it to feel done. Which kind of leads into a little bit for Jedi Survivor, sequel to Fallen Order, which did not feel done at release. It was buggy and messy, and the design kind of like did a big downhill slide as far as level design goes in the later half. It's like game felt and looked rushed.
yeah, did they ever patch that?
Yeah, they did.
fix it
Yeah,
up?
there definitely was a lot of patch. People said that it's a much better game now than it was at launch, and that's cool. But it also is one of those things like, man, I wish games were fucking complete at launch. And I'm not saying Jedi Survivor is going to suffer the same fate. Maybe it won't, because like Respawn's previous thing to that, Titanfall 2, there is a complete game. What a great experience that was.
Titanfall 2 is excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody bought it, but I'm like, what a great experience that was at launch. It felt complete.
You know, something that like I think Jason Schreier tweeted today or yesterday or something like that. He was talking about how like anything that starts production today will be done in like 6 years.
Yeah.
On the
He
next
says
console.
If a AAA game started development today, January 1st. That's not the day we're recording, but like if they started on January 1st, 2023, it would take like 6 years, to finish, and it would be out on PS6.
Right. Think about how long of a timeline that is to then release an unfinished game.
Right? Because we're starting development on a new project, comes out in 2029 or maybe late 2028.
Right.
Maybe
And
late. Jesus.
They're sort of drawing in on this, like in that thread of Jason Schreier saying that someone mentioned Naughty Dog having like started Last of Us 3. Rumors are that Last of Us 3 has started. And people were shitting on Last of Us 2 until someone was basically like, the one thing you can say about Naughty Dog is they don't release unfinished shit. And I was trying to think, like, can you think of a Naughty Dog title, at least in the last 10 years, that was released in a state of, not being polished or unfinished? Or
10
and I
years?
guess
No. 20 years? No.
Yeah.
Way of the Warrior on 3DO.
Well, on 3DO, yeah. 3D, as some would say, nothing was ever finished on 3DO.
Not even the system.
Right.
So.
And I was like, I guess, yeah, give whatever shit you want to say to them, about like you hate their stories or whatever, but like their shit gets finished, and it is finished.
Crash 1, full game. 2, full game. 3, full game. Crash Team Racing, full game. Jack and Daxter 1, full game. Jack and Daxter 2, full game. 3, full game. Jack X Racing, I don't know, probably full.
Yeah, you never played it.
Uncharted 1, full game. 2, full game. 3, full game. 4, full game. Even the spin-off Lost Legacy was probably full enough.
Right,
for
and
expanded DLC.
Friends of mine that are big fans of like Uncharted series said that it's great. Like the worst thing you can say about that game is just it doesn't have the characters you love.
Yeah. So,
It's
and
like,
then
okay.
Last of Us 1 is a full game. Last of Us 2 is a
very
full of a game almost. So
upon replaying it, I like the length of it. I like that it's a girthy game.
I'll say this: Last of Us 1 remake is arguably you can make an argument there that they're charging $70 for the exact same game, but it's prettier, remade, but no multiplayer. They literally took out multiplayer from Last of Us Part 1 remake, and they are charging you more for it. So it looks better, and it has some quality of life, like gameplay control stuff that are updated, improved, but it is missing a whole multiplayer aspect of that game, and they are charging you more money for it.
Right.
But that's really more of a Sony
for the
thing.
HBO show.
Yeah. Well, I would say this is more of a Sony thing. Because Naughty Dog could suggest, probably with some leeway over what something should cost. But right. Sony could easily just sit there and be like, we're charging $70 for this. And Naughty Dog would be like, I think you should charge $40. We're charging $70 for this.
Right. Yeah. I'm sort of surprised, and I'm glad that they probably won't do this, but I feel like Sony is the exact company that will try to get the cast of The Last of Us show to voice the characters in the next game, or like shit like that. Like I really thought they were going to recast the voice acting, like, because that's obviously what this Last of Us remake was for, to cash grab on people that are going to watch the show and then go, oh, I want to play those games.
Well, the remake's got a weird history behind it.
Really?
Yeah. So okay, some of this is just a lot of this is just rumors or things put together by other people. Okay, but timeline somehow goes like this: Sony opens a new studio in San Diego, not the one that makes MLB The Show every year, but a new studio. The new studio proposes a third-person shooter. Sony goes, "You're unproven. You're brand new. How about this? Remake us Last of Us Part 1 to prove you got the chops to do a third-person shooter." And then if that goes off without a hitch, then we'll greenlight a brand new IP from you. So that goes through some sort of development trouble. It then gets sent to Sony Bend to finish the project, and Sony Bend does not want to do it. Like there's basically pushback from Sony Bend going like, we don't want to be in someone else's backyard. So the project's on the verge of basically just being scrapped altogether. Naughty Dog is aware of it and goes, you know what? We'll take it upon ourselves to do this. It's our property. We should be the ones to remake this in full. So Naughty Dog then decides to take over the project themselves, which was supposed to just be a basically sort of like testing run for a brand new studio. So,
wow.
To my knowledge, that is the reason Last of Us Part 1 got remade.
Again.
Now, that's not saying that's like, oh, no, it's like, it would still, like, let's say like the original plan went off, right? Like some brand new studio in San Diego made Last of Us Part 1 remake. That means it would have come out probably maybe even sooner. And yes, it still would have been like immediately like Last of Us Part 2 to Last of Us Part 1. Like they're immediately remaking the game. So the timing would still be shit, where you're still getting a remake of Last of Us Part 1 that no one asked for.
Right. And then you're going to get Part 3 in 2 to 3 more years.
If anything, all it did was it sort of fed the trolls a bit, where it's just like, oh, the hubris of Naughty Dog now. You know, they really like sniffing their own farts, high on their own supply of you know, Last of Us is the greatest thing ever, and we know it, and everyone says it is. And I guess apparently today, the record for most awarded game of the year ever just lost. Last of Us 2 is now Part 2. Elden Ring by 1 Game of the Year award has now beaten Last of Us Part 2 for the most awarded Game of the Year game in history.
Huh.
I guess. Which is funny to me because the year Last of Us Part 2 came out, I would heavily argue Ghost of Tsushima was a better game. But what do I know?
Ghost of Tsushima was really fucking good.
Yeah, but then again, that's like
really
that's
good.
literally the like arguing between Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us Part 2 is like Marvel fans like fighting with Avatar fans. Like, it's all the same fucking company.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
Mickey don't care which one holds the records as long as he holds the record.
Mickey only cares as long as you're over $1 billion.
Yeah,
that's all Mickey gives a shit about. So we've got 3 months where a lot of shit's coming out, but after June, do we know anything about what's coming out after June?
And that's the weird thing. Like the whole year becomes this big fucking blank after E3.
Right. I wonder how,
because here's the thing, even Microsoft claimed Starfield would be out before E3.
Well, they claimed it.
I mean, we don't know, who knows if they'll keep it. And I argue that Starfield early access, Starfield Alpha is releasing this year because it's going to take a couple of years for the modders to go in and fix the game, put it in a decent state, because that's how
hating on Bethesda.
Is what befalls every fucking Bethesda game. Although who knows? Maybe now that it is under Microsoft, maybe there is a little more like, let's not release this. Completely unfinished. But then again, every Halo fan in the world will be like, yeah, don't get your hopes up. So.
Halo fans are just upset perennially now.
I mean, they have good reason to be, I feel. So, but yeah, even Starfield, like everything I listed is in that giant list. Most of it is first 6 months. Maybe some things are like don't have releases, like Silent Hill 2 remake, Alan Wake 2. I don't know if those have actual like release dates, but like everything else is like by June. Armored Core 6 and Spider-Man 2 are definitely the big fall games. And Metroid. Okay, so Spider-Man 2, Armored Core 6, Metroid Prime 4, if Metroid Prime 4 is coming out this year. That actually doesn't have a to release date. That is actually me going and saying, like, I think it'll come out this year. It may not. But definitely Spider-Man 2 and Armored Core 6. Those will definitely be fall games if if they make it out.
Fucking Dead Island 2 comes out in April.
Yeah, that's another one everyone kept saying, like, I didn't list Dead Island 2. And I'm like, fuck, I don't think Dead Island 2 exists. I still think it's a fucking myth.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah, none of these I'm looking at the release dates now, and like everything is in the first 6 months. I wonder if that means that E3 is going to be spicy as hell. Like there's going to be real,
and that's I know Max is based on like it was like, ooh, E3 might be really fucking good this year. It might be a really great year for E3 because all the big shit we know about will mostly be done by then. So it's going to have to be new shit.
And
So,
it's going to be run by, competent
yeah,
convention
I
run.
think that's one of the most exciting. I think for me, as far as like hype, okay, one of the things I'm most hyped about for 2023, E3 being good finally. Like it's coming back and it's doing exactly what I said it should do. We said it should do.
Right. They're
For
going to have to go
years.
above and beyond. They will have to. If they need to make a big splash. Which is oddly, it's the exact same thing that I've been saying, that the next season for Modern Warfare has to be really fucking good if they want to retain any of the people that are still
God, it is.
hanging on.
I mean, I was looking at my clips throughout the year. It is fucking depressing to go look at like fun old Warzone clips and then think about what Warzone is now, and it's like, oh.
Right. All right. Yeah. No, I'm good. I don't know. I'm almost done with the game. Like I play it like once a week here and there.
Yeah, and like I went back to Blackout, and Kenny couldn't handle the fact that like he kept getting shot. Like he's rusty. He's super rusty, right? And the only people left are sweats. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's pretty much done with that game. So I don't know, and I'm kind of like I'm not done with that game in particular, but I do feel the frustration, and it's kind of like I miss not having like because when you had Warzone, you had multiple different modes and things, and there was kind of like there was more quick get in and get out of, there's more just stuff that says, I just want to go dick around here. I want to go dick around and do this. I for all the problems Warzone had, and it had a lot of problems, there was still a lot of fun to be had. Like,
right.
I actually really liked the King Kong vs. Godzilla thing they did. That was stupid and fun.
Right. But it also pissed off a lot of sweats.
Yeah, well, fuck them.
Yeah, well, fuck them. Fuck them. Whatever.
I actually liked Fortune's Keep if the map didn't end in the town. Like, I missed seeing random shit where, like, I have a clip, and you can find it, where, like, this enemy guy, I'm just looking at him. I'm watching him from, like, inside a building. And he's flying around in this helicopter, and, like, the free loadout comes in. Like, a loadout on the way, and he's flying, and 2 loadouts land right on this guy's helicopter and blow it up in midair, and he dies.
I do love that.
The other day, killed this dude.
The other day, I was playing DMZ, and there were these guys camping in exfil, because that's all that happens now. If you don't exfil, basically before the 12-minute mark, every exfil is going to be hot. It's all going to be camped. It's fucking crazy. So I came running in, and I called in the exfil, and it seemed like a team of 6. It seemed like 2 teams were fucking with us. So they were all one team of 6. And they drove in on an LTV with a turret. And the fucking exfil helicopter fucking landed on it and exploded it and killed everyone. And we just got onto the jumper and flew away, just looking at all these fucking down dudes. I was like, that's amazing. Had no idea. Like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, obviously, like, so like it can't just be there. But I didn't think about, like, oh, dude, it's gonna explode the fucking vehicle. It's amazing. Like, I thought we were so fucked. I got downed. I had to self-res, and I was like, they're gonna come fucking thirst me right now. And there's team wiped. Flew away.
And that's honestly, that is what I miss. That is what I miss most about.
I want that goofy shit. Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that they can introduce some really fun mechanics to Warzone. Like, I know a lot of people are gonna probably blow that off and say, like, whatever. One of my big 2023 hopes. One of my hopes is that Warzone really tries hard to turn itself around.
Yeah.
Make itself really fun, fast paced. I like the gunplay in that game. I think the gunplay feels good.
It's really good. Yeah, the gunplay is
Warzone
fantastic.
too, but it's just kind of like, bro, it fucking sucks because everyone camps, because you can't kill people in one shot. Like, if you have an armor vest on, you can't snipe. And, like, I've talked to people who work on them, like, it's designed that way.
Yeah, 3-plate armor, you can't get one
so
shot.
Because that doesn't happen, everyone just fucking camps and waits and ambushes, and that's kind of just that is the game.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's
But yeah,
exhausting.
I hope we get a 40 per. I don't even really care if it's actually. I'll even go a step further and say, I hope they introduce a Rebirth style map that's not Alcatraz, a completely brand new 40-person map that is good, a good 40-person map, and has we get that dynamic, that squad based, TDM dynamic back. I actually really hope that actually happens for Warzone 2. That's one of my big hopes for the year. Another big hope, it's not announced. I hope Virtua Fighter comes back. If I wanted to be really hopeful, I said it should come back. It should be called Virtua Fighters, plural, and it'll basically just be, if you remember the game on Saturn, Fighters Mega Mix. It's the idea. So Fighters Mega Mix was mostly Virtua Fighter versus Fighting Vipers, but then there was all these unlockable characters like Virtua Cop Chick, Sonic characters, the Daytona car, which would just hit you with its tires and doors.
Wait, but is it standing up?
Yeah, it's like it's like upright, but then it could like run you. You could like go down and run you over.
It's goofy as shit, but all right.
Goofy as shit, right? So I hope Virtua Fighters comes back. I hope it's free to play. I hope it has a ton of I hope it opens the door with a ton of Sega characters can be put in there, and then I hope it has guest characters. You can just throw Tekken characters and just any other company that's willing to like have a character they could put it in there. And I hope it comes back in it, and then it plays as well as Virtua Fighter 5 does now. That's a big hope for me. Because, Street Fighter 6 is coming, and it's going to be good, I'm sure. Tekken 8's coming, I'm sure it'll be good, whatever. I actually really would love to see Sega make Virtua Fighters come back, but then go really goofy with it. Like, really goofy. Like, okay, yeah, we're going to put Sonic characters, we're going to put the Daytona car back in here, put, whoever, right? Like, just goofy shit, Persona characters, Yakuza characters. Just throw them in there. Just throw them in. Like, just have fun with it.
It's kind of a weird thing to think about, but there was a time where every single major publisher / game company had its own fighting game line. That doesn't really exist today. I never really thought about it, but yeah, Virtua Fighter was the Sega. Well, wasn't Power Stone also kind of Sega's?
No, it's Capcom.
Power Stone was Capcom?
Yeah.
I guess I had it for Dreamcast, which is why
that's all it ever came out for. They had a collection on PSP years later of 1 and 2, but 1 and 2 were just Dreamcast games.
I wonder why Power Stone's dead. Why they've never even tried to bring it back.
Kenny asks himself that every day.
It's just me and Kenny that want to see it. I was crap at it.
So and that Goffline guy in Florida. Goffline? I don't know, I might be pronouncing him. Big streamer down there. He wants it back real bad too.
It's just the three of us, and they'll be better at it than I will, and so I'll be the person losing all the time, but it'll be great. I was trying to think about, the next half or the last half of the year, not having anything major announced for the last half of the year. Even if they announce a shitload of stuff at E3, I don't think they're going to announce stuff that's coming out in the back half of the year that early or like that quickly.
I think they might.
As just like a big...
I think they might. I think Nintendo's done it before. I think they might. Sony doesn't usually do that, and they have Spider-Man too.
Well, because
I think Microsoft is hoping they have something to announce for the back half.
I guess, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know what Microsoft's going to announce, period. Like, they need
because
big.
They have a lot of stuff that is announced, but who the fuck knows where it is and what stage of development.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Microsoft's just hoping and praying one of the big projects is done. That's probably going to be like Hellblade 2 or Avowed, that first-person fantasy RPG from Obsidian.
Right, and Hellblade 2, I'm amped about.
Yeah. It'll probably be very good.
That's not coming out this year, right? That's not...
Well, who knows? It was shown a year ago and then disappeared.
Yeah, I sort of assumed that it wouldn't be for at least another year or two. But then again, that'd be
my guess is that they keep seeing what God of War does, and they keep wanting to match that pound for pound quality wise. So,
and do you think Hellblade 2 would be the one to do it?
It's got the money. Well, they have the money to do it. Where Microsoft probably looks at it and goes, "We own Hellblade. it's our franchise. It's kind of like a God of War, kind of third-person combat, but and it was known as like the world's most prettiest AA game, right? When it first came out, because it was made independently,
gorgeous,
more or less.
yeah.
It's a gorgeous game. But now Microsoft owns it, and now they have the money in it. So they're probably sitting there thinking, like, this is our God of War. And
Okay.
we should try to put as much resources into it to make it God of War, like a quality of God of War. So I imagine there's probably like I think there's probably some penis envy there. With God of War Ragnarok, where they want to have their own exclusive, only on Xbox God of War Ragnarok. And that's
Right.
probably what they want Hellblade 2 to be, which it could be. I think it has the chops to maybe get there.
Yeah, the thing is like all the things I remember about Hellblade, I don't really like focus on the combat the way God of War. When you think about God of War, do you
Yeah.
remember the combat of God of War?
Mhm.
I wonder how they're going to up the ante on that for 2. You know, will they make it more arcadey combat, or will they stick with the very cinematic, close in? You could die very easily.
That's a very
here.
good question.
Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe we'll see it E3.
Yeah, that would be fucking cool. There's other little things that like there. One of my friends is really amped about Kerbal Space Program having a
That
second
exists.
game.
Isn't part 2 coming out?
Yeah, part 2's coming out in February. But like one of my friends just like really loved that game, the first game, and so they've been like, "Oh, that's amazing." I have seen nobody excited about Skull and Bones. Sort of amazed that it's still coming.
I was reminded that existed, and I was like, wait, oh yeah, I guess it's not coming out till next year.
Oh, I got tweeted by a dude. I think it was like Luis Rivera. Sorry, dude, if I'm getting your name wrong. But off the top of my head, so the island is going to be in RE4, by the way.
I've heard this. I haven't been able to track down where this is coming from.
The director is
because someone on Sunday on Max's stream was saying like, "Hey, island confirmed," and I'm like, "Really?" So I went and I tried to look for it, and I couldn't find anything, and I was like, "Damn."
Hirabayashi confirmed that the game will feature the village, the castle, and the island. In like it's like an article that he's quoted in. I don't know. It's interesting. I still think they're going to have to tone down the island if they're going to have it in there at all.
Oh yeah, I mean, from
at
everything
least the
I
outdoor
understand,
parts,
like
right?
there is no island in the game, and if there was maybe if there is, it'll probably be like some very small
Brief.
nod of replacement. Like and they say the game will be about as long as the original, which, as Max says, that's just producer speak. They're just telling you that so it doesn't sound like they're giving you a lesser package. But I mean, it's probably not going to be as long as the original game.
Well, because the original, I remember it being like 15 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Fucking enormous.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
It's by far and away the longest single campaign for a Resident Evil game. 6 is the longest if you combine all the campaigns together,
but even then, it's not like fucking super long, is it?
Well, it's because each campaign is short, and they all crisscross on the same areas, or at least a couple of the same areas.
Right.
So
yeah.
But yeah, like 4 as a single campaign is the longest Resident Evil game. And I don't have any expectations of Remake being as long. That's fine. I don't know. I just want to be surprised. I want it to be good. I'm not expecting it to be better because it's like, yeah, you're remaking like Casablanca or something here, or fucking, To Kill a Mockingbird or something. It's not going to be better.
At best, it's going to be just as good.
Yeah, at best, it might be just as good.
Well, to be fair, there's a lot of people that say that RE2 Remake might be better than the original RE2. They're all probably wrong.
Yeah, in some respects, but like, I'm pretty sure RE4 will be my guess is, here's my guess. It'll be very good. It will be a very good game. It'll be a blast to play through.
Yeah.
It won't be as replayable as 4 because it's going to tone down a little bit of the arcadiness and try to make things a little more strategic and maybe even just a little bit tougher in general.
And
I don't mean
probably
like
going to try and make it scarier.
scarier and more atmospheric and cinematic
Right.
and spooky and like slow. Like I think the game's going to be like slowed down a bit, to try to like soak shit in. So I think there'll be a little bit of sacrifice to like the super arcadey nature of 4, which I think remake as good as will be. I don't think it'll be as infinitely replayable as 4 is.
Right.
Because like 4, you could just sit there and just like any point in the game, just start shooting shit and busting your way through an area and have a good time.
I mean, 4. One of the best things about 4 is that it was pretty infinitely replayable. One, getting the infinite ammo weapons, getting the different crap out of it.
And
like,
cool. They had an upgrade path in the original game for the guns, but like it was if you needed it kind of thing. Like you could easily play that game without. It'd be harder, but you could do it. But like this one has like you can upgrade that. Like the knife is like an upgrade and shit like that. So like
doesn't the knife break now or
something?
Like
the knife breaks and there's durability and you get other knives kind of thing. Like it's gonna be shit like that. That's just not gonna make it as replayable as the first game, as the original game. But I still think it's gonna be probably very good.
Yeah, it's gonna be very good. It's just gonna be different.
It's gonna be like RE8, or RE8's good, but it's not that replayable. Someone's like, I've replayed that game 20 times. Cool. But I played it once and felt satisfied and had a good time.
There is also the thing to remember is that when RE4 came out originally, we were at the right age range to where we could replay something a zillion goddamn times. Right? And so for people that are in that age range when RE8 comes out, or even say Callisto Protocol or something, like you hit that niche. So yeah, there's probably somebody out there who's like, yeah, I've played it 14 or 15 times and it's the greatest Resident Evil. I sometimes wonder, some of the games that I really loved, and I think about like RE4. Is RE4 like this for me? Is it more just like the age I was when it first came out and when it hit and then I loved it? Like its first fuck syndrome.
I feel like that's a lot of the way with RPGs. You both get first fuck and like if you're the right age, the right time.
Right.
Because I don't have the ability to blast through every RPG. Like I enjoy RPGs still, but it's like I played Chained Echoes, which is like the indie RPG darling lately, and everyone's saying how great that game is. And I played it for about an hour or two. I thought it was really good, and I've not gone back to it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, going back to this. Only one game does that to me anymore, and it's Xenoblade. But like,
right, I feel like you can't dive on or drop 100 hours into every RPG anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I can't sit there and play the entire RPG library of the PlayStation 1 anymore.
Right.
I just can't do it. But it's also like I think that it does quality of life does play a factor in it as well. Where if the simple act of like running around a world and interacting with the world and then just doing a simple task, completing a simple task in the world feels fun, feels like it has impact, feels like something's going on there, like Xenoblade and many other games. I feel that goes a long way towards like, why can I play this game for 170 hours, but I can't play Star Ocean 6 for 170 hours? One, I don't have the time, but two, I'm like, I don't have the patience anymore just to deal with a game that's like, doesn't feel as well designed. Like to be fair, like a lot of RPGs on PS1 are pretty, but they're not all well designed. Some of them are paced fucking horribly.
Right.
Legend of Dragoon. Sorry, chats. Sorry, listeners. Legend of Dragoon is not the greatest paced RPG on the PS1. So, and I got like 3/4 of the way through that game before I gave up, but it was just kind of like, I'm not enamored by the fact that it's an RPG anymore. And now it has to, pacing is pacing's a real. That's why I can't play Persona. I can't stand the pacing in Persona games, man. It's actually an addiction for some people to sort of like do the time management of Persona games. But for me, I'm just like, fuck this.
Well, one of the things that I really didn't like about PS1 era, RPGs specifically, was that like there was the big bragging point where they'd be like, oh, there's 70 hours of content.
Yeah, bang for your buck.
Right, but like 30 of the 70 hours is like filler, weird bullshit. Like, not to shit on people's favorite fucking part of Final Fantasy VII, but like all the chocobo racing shit. You like, yeah, there's 12 hours of chocobo racing. It's like, okay, well,
but it's important because you got to raise a gold chocobo so you can get the Knights of the Round summon,
right.
which you don't need to beat the game or anything. It's just completionist sake.
And it's a cool summon. It is a cool summon. It's just that it's like fucking 12 hours of chocobo racing bullshit isn't necessarily what I want from.
I mean, and I beat it last year because they had the remaster come out, but Jesus Christ, Chrono Cross sucks. It's
you just made so many people angry.
It lures you in with just the most fucking beautiful art and music you've ever heard, but Jesus Christ, that game is paced awfully. Holy Jesus God, is the pacing bad in that game?
That's something that like we've never, I don't know if we've ever gone in depth on like how to pace a game or like what makes game pacing good or bad.
I talked a little bit about it because of like the platinum way. It used to be the Capcom Clover way, but now it's like the platinum way, which is, and RE4 is a really good example of it, where it's like I introduce you to one villain. So it's like I could literally break this down for you. RE4, you start the game, you go into the house, you fight one guy. Okay, he has an axe. He yells at you, he follows you, he swings at you. Okay, you kill him. Now you fight three the same thing. So because right after that, you know, the little mini cutscene, the three guys, and then they start doing twists on you. Now they introduce traps. Now they introduce enemies near traps.
Right.
And then it's like then they introduce you to the whole village, which is all of that.
Yeah, so it's an escalation, and then they do a twist on the enemies.
It's
in the next
always
area.
like the very very boiled down version is introduce you to an enemy type, and then okay, you killed one, now kill multiple. Now we'll put a twist on it, and then we kind of move on to the next thing.
Right, but what makes it like so? What makes Chrono Cross's pacing bad? Versus...
the story is not really good. The story's kind of awful, but like you kind of like there's a lot of these like start and stops. Like the game starts with okay, you do like the tutorial thing. You go to this area, you catch 3 lizards to make a necklace. You meet your girlfriend on the beach, and then you get literally dimension shifted to another. Literally the same. It's the same world, but like in a world where you died as a kid, kind of thing, right? So it's like, oh well, this is some crazy stuff that's going on, right? And then it kind of meanders a bit, and it's like, okay, then like you break into this manor for reasons, and then you know, and it just kind of like it's more just kind of like okay, and then you meet someone, you join up with them. They have like a little quest line going where they're trying to break into this manor. You help them break into the manor. That goes a little south. This person gets stabbed by like a poisonous dart. So then it becomes like okay, now you got to go find like a Hydra. The Hydra's extinct, so you do this thing where you go back to your world, you know, where the animal didn't go extinct, and so there's some coolness there, the sort of like jumping between. But then it's like you randomly will spend a couple hours. I got to go to this island, you know, to get the blessing of the water dragon. So you go to but it's all dried up and dead in one world. So you go back to the other world where it didn't dry up and die. And then it's like there's this whole war between goblins and fairies there, and you get involved in, and it's like you just spend all this time doing this shit with goblins and fairies that has fucking nothing to do with the rest of the main story. But it is
so it just drags.
It just drags. It's in your way of the main storyline.
All right.
To you to meeting the water dragon, and then you know, and then I guess there's a whole point where like there's a point where you switch bodies with this cat creature, this cat man, this furry guy, and then you have to spend all this time doing just random meaningless shit, you know, for other things that don't really have a relevance on the story. I don't know. It's really hard to even try to remember what exactly is the correct sequence of events that happen in that game. And there's a lot of optional shit as well. And there's multiple pathways to take, and you get multiple different characters, but like everything feels so goddamn disjointed from whatever the main story is. And the main story is not connected to the main character. Like it kind of is, and it kind of isn't. And at the end of the day, all it does is it ties up a loose end left in Chrono Trigger that has nothing to fucking do with the character of this game. So it's like Chrono Trigger is like this. Okay, it's a game where about all of a sudden, oops, you learn how to travel through time, and then when you go to the future, you find the future's all fucked up. Why is the future all fucked up? Well, because this big fucking giant creature came out of the earth in 1999. Well, how did that get there? Well, it landed there as like a seed, as an extraterrestrial thing, landed in 65 million BC. And you're like, oh, so the whole point is stop Lavos from destroying the world in 1999, and that becomes the whole crux. And you learn that within, first five or so hours, or five to 10 hours of Chrono Trigger. But it's a very straightforward story about like, okay, you learn how to time travel. Cool. The world gets ruined. Not cool. How does it get ruined? Because of this cataclysmic thing. Okay, well, how do we stop that cataclysmic thing from happening? That's the plot of Chrono Trigger. Chrono Cross is, I could try to describe it, but fuck.
It's all over the fucking place. With that, sorry, I took us off topic of games we're hyped for in the first in 2023, but it is sort of I guess an adjacent topic that like so many modern games, because they're emulating, say, film pacing or film plot structure.
Yeah.
I wonder if that like could RPGs adopt that same plot structure? Because like adventure games, it's really easy to adopt the film plot, the 3-act structure.
And I think some games did it, but not as a film, but as a series. Like
episodics.
13, 26 episode series. I say Grandia is a big one to do that.
Right.
It's plotted and paced out like an anime, where there is an overarching narrative. People say that it rips off stuff. I don't know. It's about a young boy whose father was an adventurer, and he has like this gem that glows, the spirit stone, and it leads him to like find this like lost civilization floating in the sky. I don't know where they get that from, but I don't know where anyone could construe a young adventurous boy has like a magical like stone thing that points him the way towards a floating castle. I don't know why anyone's that.
Is Mark Hamill in it?
He should have been.
He probably could have.
He is in Grandia Extreme though.
Oddly enough.
But but it's like it's paced like an anime where it's like, okay, we're like the adventure of you need to get an adventurer's pass. You need to get this pass on the boat, right? You can't leave your port city until you get like a pass to travel on the steamliner. And so like the whole first adventure is going to this old adventurer who had a passport, but he wants you to go clear out the mines he lives in from all these like orcs, and then it's all that the adventure of that ends in a minecart sequence, right? And it's like cool, you get that. The next episode you get on the boat and you're traveling out to sea, you meet another adventurer on the boat, and then a big storm comes up and you crash into this ghost ship, and you spend the adventure on the ghost ship and you fight a big squid on it. And then
that is very episodic, yeah.
Yeah, and then you land in the new world, and the whole quest line in the new world of like there's a whole thing there, and then and it just kind of, and there is this thing in the background about getting to the lost city of Alan, but like it's just this episodic nature of like you go to this place, you do this thing, you meet these people, you have this little adventure here, and then you move on to the next one.
I can dig that, yeah.
And I do dig it, and I wish more RPGs were like that. I'd probably be more interested in them.
Right.
But yeah, like nowadays, it's like I don't know. I was like, there's a really weird like sort of if something like Skyrim is kind of like the adventure is what you make of it kind of game, right? I think there's kind of a crit path for sure, but it's like I think some people really embellish and like I don't like being taken down a path. I like kind of like let me go where I want, do what I want when I want. And there's something to be said for that. I feel like that's an absolutely legitimate, like play style or whatever. But like then there's like other games where it's just kind of like I'm sitting here, I'm just like listening to these characters talk, and I'm like, my eyes are like glazing over the back of my head.
I don't give a shit about that.
Well, it's like almost too wordy. Games get too wordy nowadays. Like at least Japanese RPGs, like Octopath. People love Octopath Traveler, but I just thought the game was just too fucking wordy. Like
they're spending too much time trying to be poetic and
and just talking and setting up a scene.
Well, that answers my like closing question, which is what's the game you're most hyped for in the next 6 months? It's not Octopath Traveler 2 then.
No, I don't know. I don't know if it will be or not the next 6 months, but probably. I don't know. Xenoblade 3 campaign. I'm dead serious.
Really? Oh,
Absolutely.
because it's another 50 hours or whatever.
Yeah, another 25 crit. They said they want to make it as long as Torna, and Torna was 25 hours, critical path 50 hours, completionist. So that's a game.
I'm sort of interested. Like, yeah, Tears of the Kingdom isn't going to be in your number one thing you're looking
Oh
forward
God, no.
to.
I mean, I'm much more interested in Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4. A lot of people
Yeah.
are going to be all about Street Fighter 6.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, Street Fighter 6, Final Fantasy 16, and Resident Evil 4. That is gonna be the big three, probably for our listeners. And I'm with you guys. Like I'm with you. I'm right there with you. Like I think Street Fighter 6, Final Fantasy 16, and RE4 remake. I think they're all gonna be great games. I'm looking forward to them immensely. All three of them.
What's the one you didn't expect to look forward to that you're kind of like?
Oh, that's an excellent question, actually.
But now
What's
you're kind of like, oh, maybe.
Ooh, maybe. Wasn't expecting, but maybe. I'm gonna look at this list here.
For me, it's probably going to be that Atomic
Heart.
Yeah, Atomic Heart.
Yeah.
Or oddly enough, and I haven't so far. I mean, like Gotham Knights, I didn't give a fuck about, but like,
yeah,
the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, I'm sort of like, I could be interested in that. It sort of makes me, yeah, I could be down with that.
I haven't looked too much into it, but there is the Starship Troopers Extermination game, a big co-op Starship Troopers game coming, where I'm like a big multiplayer co-op Starship Troopers game.
I honestly hadn't heard a thing about it, and now I want to look into it because I'm kind of like, Starship Troopers could be it's a good world for video games.
Right.
You could do so much with that.
I'm on the same boat as you there, where I'm just like, okay, I'm not like, I haven't heard much. I mean, I've seen it. I haven't heard much or looked into it much, but I'm like,
well, because the thing
seems like it could be a really good idea. And Aliens Fireteam Elite was a nice big surprise, right?
Right.
So
the thing about it is like, if they go the path of the Starship Troopers anime, where they miss the point of Starship Troopers, or maybe they take all the worst parts of Starship Troopers to glorify that, or they go the path of the movie, where they use Starship Troopers as a sort of parody is not the right word, but
it's like meta commentary, if anything.
Yeah, it's I'm blanking on the fucking word, but they're taking the piss out of it.
But that's what Paul Verhoeven does.
Yeah, if they go the Verhoeven route, that could be a good fucking game series. Where they
almost kind of like Spec Ops: The Line, but maybe more like tongue in cheek, cynical, rather than like dead serious, like Spec Ops: The Line was.
Right. Yeah, they could really do some cool shit there, where like they're taking the piss out of the first person shooter or third person shooter genre, where they're like the glorification of what you're doing. They could needle at that. Like they could really do some cool shit there. So I got to look into that game more, because that was the first I'd heard of it when you brought it up. I was like, wait, what the fuck? What the
yeah,
fuck?
apparently yeah, one of my mods is like, he's really looking forward to it. He's been piping that up. He was really upset because, and he had a good point, where it's like, there was a Ghostbusters game that came out last year, an asymmetrical Ghostbusters game made by the guys who did the Predator Hunting Grounds game, and no one bought it.
I didn't hear a fucking word about that.
I heard about it, and then I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that came out, I guess. But it's like, apparently it was a really good game, because like the person who's the ghost, he can possess objects, and stuff. So he can like basically disappear, because he'll go and just possess something. As long as he doesn't move, you don't know where the ghost is. So all the other 4 Ghostbusters
trying to find a ghost. This. I do. I wanted to play that. Wow, I didn't even hear about when it actually released.
Came out in like October or something. Wow. Nobody played it. Nobody bought it.
Well, now we got to.
It fucking vanished from the face of the earth.
Is it on Steam?
I think it's on Steam. To me, it just screams Game Pass to me. But
asymmetric streams, bro. You love that shit. You love asymmetric games.
I don't. I'm so over it. I mean, like Predator was weird, because it felt like it should have been a great idea, and it was kind of fun, but it was also like, it was like, okay, either it was too easy to win with the Marines, or then they fucking rebalanced the game. Too easy to win as the Predator. So it was just kind of like bounce back and forth between like it was impossible to kill the Predator, it was too easy to kill the Predator.
The real problem with asymmetric games is you have to figure that like half the population on Earth is just downright fucking dumb. Like you have to figure, and I'm totally admitting I could be in that half of the population. I'm just saying everybody's dumb sometimes, and then you get put into where you're reliant to have a good time and or win pretty heavily on someone who could be totally fucking dumb. That's the problem with asymmetric. Now, granted, if you're playing with friends that you know aren't dumb or like know how to play or can play games, that's different story. But like getting online to play with randos, the frustration's got to be pretty fucking real.
And the other problem too is like Predator is just like even before the game came out, we knew what the Predator did. We knew how he operated. So it was kind of like in the movie Predator 1, all those commandos, it's the movie. They have no idea what it is. They don't even know that they're dealing with an alien until the very end. So everything is a complete surprise to them how it's operating. You play the video game after the movie, based on the movie, exactly. Yeah, I'm looking for this big fucking dreadlock, thing that's using like shimmering invisibility in the trees, and he's going to throw discs and lasers at me. I know exactly what he's doing.
Yeah,
I know what he's up to.
And now I'm on the hunt.
So therein lies the problem with Predator Hunting Grounds is like we already know what you're fucking dealing with, which may not be the problem for Ghostbusters because like Ghostbusters, you're trying to find a ghost. You know exactly what a ghost is,
right?
So maybe that can work better. I don't know. Nobody played that game.
Well, now we're going to play it. We're going to find it on Game Pass, and we're going to play it.
I don't think it is, but if it was, I'd totally jump on it on Game Pass.
But all right, folks got to let us know what they're most hyped for in the next 6 months. It's crazy to me that you can't say in the entire year because there is a 6-month blank spot.
Yeah, it's a black hole after June, honestly.
We're going to find out, and it means that it might be the most exciting E3 we've ever had. Like it
that's another thing. I actually hope they don't. I hope they don't talk about games until E3. Like they probably won't. There's probably going to be an Xbox and a State of Play and a Nintendo Direct.
There'll be a leak.
And there'll be leaks. But like part of me almost kind of hopes they try to keep shit close to their chest. So like E3 is a big fucking surprise for the end of the year. Like they don't know what's coming out. E3, holy shit. By the way, here's what's announced. Go play it.
Would be so fucking cool.
Yeah.
But as always, we have got some producers to thank. If you're interested in becoming a patron at any level, please check out patreon.com/YoVideogames podcast. Due to the week was Hockey Kong 64. And our producers for this episode are Scrunami, Koroi35, Hyper Viper 89, and Ziggy Z. Thank you, dudes. And we'll catch you next time.
Later, dudes.